Good evening. Welcome to Epiphany Lutheran Church in Richmond, Virginia. I am Kevin Barger, the Director of Music Ministry. This is our Music Minute, where we take a look at the hymns we'll be using in worship tomorrow. And we're going to actually start with our sending hymn today, and that is Where Cross the Crowded Ways of Life. This was written by Frank Brown, and he wrote this hymn with two connections. He was a pastor, and he wrote a sermon based on Matthew 22:9, and that was the first connection. The second connection was that there was a member on the committee for the Methodist hymnal that requested a hymn that was focused on city missions. So this met both of those criteria. And one of these hymns, this is one of those hymns that stresses the importance of singing the entire hymn. Without it, you don't get the entire story. And many people, when this first came out, would cut stanzas 4 and 5. And Frank Brown did not like that. He actually became furious because for that same reason, you're cutting out part of the story. This is Where Cross the Crowded Ways of Life. Excuse me. All right. Now we will look at our hymn. We will look at our hymn of the day. When the Poor Ones. This text comes to us from the Spanish Roman Catholic hymnal, and it's a text from Matthew 25 that the refrain actually talks of the Emmaus walk on the Emmaus Road. And the stanzas focus on the poor giving away to others. So not giving to the poor, but the poor giving to others. And the refrain says that when that happens, God is present with us on that way, on that journey. When the Poor Ones. very reflective hymn. It's gorgeous. All right, communion tomorrow. We're going to be singing For Such a Time as This, which we actually had scheduled a couple weeks ago, so I gave you all this background on it. In case you missed it, I'll give it to you really quickly and then just play it once for you to put it back in your head since we didn't have time to sing it a couple weeks ago. This was done by Jonathan Rudman, and he was commissioned to write a song for the 2015 ELCA Worship Jubilee. It took place in Atlanta. It was called Called to be a Living Voice. And this was anticipating the 500th anniversary of the Reformation. This is an emphasis on every Christian's call or vocation. And the killing of the Emanuel Nine happened not long before this was composed, so that was in the background as this went. So the song is a flexible song. It can be written for situations outside of worship. It can be used in worship, such as when you're going to communion. It's pretty easy to pick up on. For such a time as this. From a couple of weeks ago. And to round us out today, we have our gathering hymn. This is O Christ, Your Heart Compassionate. And this is a Herman Stempfli hymn. You may remember him from his work at Gettysburg Seminary. And it refers to Mark 1, so not Matthew, as two of our other hymns did today. This is the story of Jesus healing people at Simon's house, starting with his mother-in-law, I believe it was. This is a ministry hymn. And it's an anonymous tune that has many other lyrics. I'm sure you'll recognize the tune. The tune is likely from the 18th or 19th century from the German Roman Catholics. So we had the Spanish Roman Catholic hymnal with When the Poor Ones, and the German Roman Catholics probably were behind this one. O Christ, Your Heart Compassionate. Did you recognize that tune? Sometimes the day of resurrection, Hosanna la Hosanna, many of those number things. So, hi, thank you for joining me this evening. I hope you enjoyed that and learned something you might not have known before. And if you're going to join us in person for worship tomorrow, that would be at 8:30 and 10:30, and our 10:30 service will be live streamed on our YouTube channel as always. Thanks again for joining me this evening. We'll look forward to being together again next week. Have a great night.